Good morning, everybody. Came on this morning to just go through some of the work that I've been doing and do a little bit more work. So yeah, I think I showed some of these the other day, and I thought I'd just give you a quick update on them and what I'm doing with them. So they're just little watercolour pages with various things on them, printing, dried flowers, fabrics and things like that. So I'll take you through them and then go through maybe maybe do a little bit more work on them. So they're very simple, very effective though, I think. Will look lovely in journals, or you know, you can use them as journaling cards or whatever you like. So yeah, so you saw this one. If you saw the video, you would have seen this one, and I haven't done an awful lot to this one. It's quite decorative as it is. Hopefully you can see that fairly well. I have glued on some tissue paper that I embossed, which it was just a little bit of an experiment. I'm gonna take that off. I think it's not serving any purpose sitting there like that. I don't mind a bit of texture in there, but yeah, I just thought I'd try it out. So you can see that you might be able to see that it's flattened out a little bit here, and I've got more of the texture there, but I don't mind that at all. I have got a little bit of fabric that I thought might be quite nice sewn on. Two pieces of that, and I thought I might stitch them together because, you know, just to contrast with this colour, not contrast, but just to complement that colour there. And it's obviously got the gold in as well, so hopefully you can see the gold. Yeah, so that one, still some work to do. This one I put a little bit of fabric on, a little bit of Sanderson type fabric, but it's got a sateen finish, and then I've put a dried flower on as well. And what I would normally do is stitch around just to hold these on a little bit better, so I'll be doing that. This one I just put a little flip on and some pretty lace, and I did some stitching on there, so that one. This one, all I did was put a dried flower on, so I will be stitching this just to secure it in place. Although this paper is thinner than the rest of it. This I must have used quite a thick, well, I don't know if it is thick actually, but anyway, it's copier paper, so I'll try and do some stitching on that with a very fine needle. This one, stitched some fabric on that I thought complemented the colours, and a pretty dried flower on there, and that was all I did to that one. Oh yeah, I'll be stitching that as well. This one again, another little bit of fabric, so 3 layers of fabrics on there, really pretty, hopefully you can see that, and a dried flower there, so I'll be stitching that one as well. Same here, some pretty lace and some cotton fabric just to complement the colours, and a pressed daisy. This one I put book page down the bottom there because it had ripped in a sort of strange angle, so, and then I've put lace on to just complement that strange angle that I had, but then I needn't to bother putting the paper on, but I quite like that just peeking through there. So that's I think that's finished. I may do something else, but I'm not sure about it. I'll see. So those two are finished there. This one, again, just some fabric and another little piece on top, a little cluster if you like. It's sewn on, see the stitching on the back, and printed, and I haven't done anything else to that one. I quite like it. It's quite simple, effective. Quite like it as it is. Could do some splattering on it just to make it pop a little bit more, and I'll think about that. I've got a pretty blue pearly watercolour that I could use, so I'll think about it anyway. I'll put that in the think about pile. Again, more fabric, more of that blue fabric, and then I just put a little lace piece on top. Pretty flower, dried pressed flower on there. Again, that needs to be stitched. More lace, just very simple with lace, but it's got quite a large flower, so I kept it quite simple, but I do like the colouring on this paper. Flower's quite nice, and I've stitched it, so hopefully you can see the stitching on there. It's just tiny stitches all the way up just to hold it in place in case it comes up from the glue. So I don't use much glue on them. So that one's finished. And this one, again, pretty lace, and that's all, but I have stitched it on. You can see the stitching on the back there, some printing on the back as well. I might use this as a flip because it's got that on, and maybe I could add something else down here. That would be quite nice. But I like that one. It's simple, but it's effective, and I don't know if you can see, but there are gold and silver or pewter splatters on there as well. So I like that. That is, I would say that's more or less finished. I'm going to put it in the other pile just to keep that one. And then there's just a plain one that's left. Well, watercoloured, it looks pretty, but it does need some work. So I'll put that one here as well. So I've got 3 piles. The ones that are finished, the ones that maybe could do some more work, and the ones that I will definitely do some more work. So I think I'll do some stitching, if that's all right, and I'll show you just what I do. It's very simple. I'll grab some more threads. Yeah, it's a very simple. I've got some nice green there that will complement, well, even darker green, some gold, and I've got some grey. I think if I need any other colours I can always look. Got a lighter green there. Got a nice pinky purpley colour there, like a mauve, pinky mauve colour. Right, so I'll see how I get on. So it's another simple video, another simple make. Feel free to make along with me. Just checking that. Yeah. So all right, now I think I need to use a thin needle for this. So I've got a very thin one. Oh, there. Oh no, that's not a needle, that's a piece. It's a stem off a plant. Silly me. I'll just pop the lid on the glue. Okay, so for this one, I think I could use a blue, but I'm going to stick with green. So I might use a lighter green. Oh, it's probably the same colour actually. So, yeah, hope you're all doing well. It's a really cold day. Sun shining, cloudy, puffy white clouds, but it is actually quite chilly. It's certainly chilly in the cabin. Sorry, I'm just threading the needle here, and it is a tiny needle, so it might take me a bit of effort to do this. I did use this one the other day, so it should, yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, so all I do is I start at the bottom and I work my way up, and try not to put lots of holes in the paper. I try to get as close to the stem as I can, and I usually do manage it okay, but where I don't, I just make sure that I push in, I push in very close to the stem on the other side. So I get a nice neat little, I'm going to go back through the same hole. you don't have to do, nobody has to do this, it's just something that I enjoy doing. I've done it quite a lot in other projects, fabric and paper projects, and with using wildflowers, or you know, flowers that didn't go too close then, gone a little bit out, but it doesn't matter, it just all adds to the texture of the paper and the detailing of the yeah, you can see that's close, of the card. These would look nice on a piece of card to send to someone. Nice little personal card, a little personal message. I won't go through the leaves, I'll go up here through there. Oh dear, okay, that wasn't good, doesn't matter. So I've split the stem just by going through too close. Well, that's always a risk, but it's not at the end of the world, it's just I can glue it a little bit, see if I can get it. I mean, these are very fragile. These, as you can see, tiny little flowers on there. These are last year's pressings. So they've lost some of their colour, but I do have some sorry, I've just started pressing some more, so I pressed some spring flowers a couple of days ago, some forget-me-nots and some other pretty flowers. So I think that'll do. I don't want to, well, maybe I will go up to there. I don't want to risk breaking the stem on there. Very tiny stitch on there. Oops. Hope you can see me. Now I've got to put one on the other one, haven't I? Can't do one and not the other. So very close. A bit too close for comfort. And back in. And there we are. And then I just have to, the tiny stitches. And I just have to, I always like to see the stitching on the back. I don't know why. Even if it's messy, I do like the look of it. Just sort of, I don't know what it is. There we go. So I do have to be gentle, but it works. And like I said, you can back these with card or whatever you like. So that's in the finished pile. This one, I'll do this flower using the same thread. And I quite like this off to the side here. It looks quite nice. Sorry if I'm pulling it out of the camera view, it's just I'm just going back through the second time on the first stitch. And I hope that you can see what I'm doing. I'll have to check. Pretty daisy. It's quite a big daisy actually. But I'm glad it's got the, although you can't see the inside of the flower, I'm glad it's got that lovely detail around there. It's pretty. I'm not going to go through the leaf because it's likely that it would I thought I'd broken the stem, but I haven't. But my thread came off the needle. There we go. I do wish this weather would get better. I do find it, well, I mentioned it recently, didn't I? I won't go over it again, but yeah, I do struggle with this cool weather and this at this time of the year. I always hope for a better spring. I mean, I haven't even been out foraging, which is not like me. I'm usually out and about. Right, so I shall do, so tie this one off. Very fiddly, it's a tiny needle, that's why. I'm very slippy. There we go. So I hope this gives you some ideas rather, of making, because you know these things don't have to be complicated. I think you know, I often see videos, and I love them all, and people are so talented, but if you're intimidated by all of that and overwhelmed, you know, on what to actually do, it can be a bit, yeah, overwhelming. And you know, I suggest if you're just starting out, just keep it simple, you know, do very simple makes like this, or just even sort of like the, you know, don't bother with the dried flour, or don't bother with the fabrics. You can just do some watercolor paints or whatever you have, or even just do some printing if you've got printing materials. Do some drawing, some sketching, or some sorry, I'm trying to thread. I don't know why I'm struggling to thread. You know, these things don't have to be too complicated when you're first starting out. You know, it's not necessary. And use what you've got. Use I use, even though I do have a lot of stuff to use, I do try and keep it as simple as possible. This is the paper. No, it's not. You know, the paper's down there. This is still the better, the more thicker paper, so I'm all right. So the paper that I'm using here is very, I mean, I've had it for years and years and years. I bought sketchbooks, cheap sketchbooks from somewhere, and I've had them years, and then there's loads of pages that are left empty, and I just thought, well, why don't I rip them out and start using them? And that's not in the right spot. There we go. Okay, I haven't done that very well, have I? I'll have to go through again. So just use what you have, you know, what you can find. Packaging from food packets, you know, the cellophane that you get on food packets, I keep that. I keep envelopes that I get sent in the post, and I keep card, like you know, from I'll get a smaller one. So I keep these sorts of things that you get from Amazon, and they're so good to use. Thick, sturdy card, really handy. Packaging paper like that. I keep loads of that, and I love using that. It's really good to use. Magazines. I'm been busy going through some things at home, preparing for a move, and I found some old magazines last night, and I thought, okay, see what's in them. Some nice images that I could use. And then, you know, if you really want to start looking for, you know, pieces of, I don't know, stencils, or if you want to look for art materials, whatever, you can look on Facebook Marketplace or somewhere like that. There's loads of stuff on there, absolutely loads. And I'm a regular visitor to the charity shops around me, and there are quite a few where I live. I'm very lucky in that way. So I do buy a lot of my materials and things like that from them, and I enjoy it because I'm giving to charity at the same time as, you know, gaining something that I can use, and I won't feel too bad about cutting them off. Or I hope I was still in your view there. So I forgot to say I used a darker thread on that one. Okay. This is very delicate. I don't even know if I want to. Well, I will. I was going to say I don't know if I want to, but I will. Oops. So yeah, don't be put off making, you know, a glue stick, some little bits of fabric, a pair of scissors. I mean, what I've been doing, I'll show you in a minute actually when I've finished sewing this. So I went to one of my charity shops recently, and I looked in the children's section, the young children's section in particular, so sort of like the toddler stage, because quite often you get some really pretty fabrics for that age group, for girls, and I did find some nice things, and I found what I was looking for, which is amazing. I mean, I was like, quick, grab it before somebody else does. So I shall show you in a minute. I have got other things to show you as well. I do enjoy doing show and tell. Right, I'm not going to go into the flower, it's far too delicate. So I'm going to stop it here. What I do, if I've got a dried flower, I quite often put vellum. I'll show you what I use so you can see. That one's done. Pretty flower. You just see the little stitching, hopefully. Let me show you what I use sometimes. Use these, so they're sticky on the top, just like sticky notes, but they're vellum, so just put them over the top and it just protects the flower. So you put it there, protects it, but it gives it a nice finish, and they're very cheap to buy, so, and you can get longer ones as well, so that would just about cover it, but I don't worry too much about the stem. So yeah, if you look out for them. Now, I'm going to see if I can show you something that I bought that I said I would show you. I mean, right, just move that up. Have a look at this. How pretty is that? So it's a little skirt for a 2-year-old. So like a little, a tutu type skirt. But look at it, gorgeous, beautiful pink colour, loads of fabric. It's so, you know, so much fabric in there. It'll last me for a long time. I'm going to probably get you. So it was £1.50 from the Thames Hospice, and it's a 2-year-old little tutu skirt. Ballerina skirt. I mean, how pretty is that? Do I feel bad about cutting up? Not really. No, I don't. I don't know any 2-year-olds. If I did, I might give it to them. And then the other thing I found was this. So it's a pair of ladies, oh no, it's not shorts, it's a skirt. So it's a skirt, and it's got all this lovely fabric. It won't fit me, and I wouldn't wear it anyway, it's too short. It's got that lovely soft cotton inside, and then it's got all this gorgeous and then fabric on there, and then it's got this pretty detail on the hem. So and a ribbon. So what more could you ask for? And that was £2. So, you know, it's amazing what you can find. That's a lot of fabric in one piece of I hope I haven't moved the needle. I think I might have. Okay. Okay, not to worry, I'll find it. I think that's one other thing that I found as well. Yes, this was it. This was the other dress that I found. Child's dress. Again, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Again, it's lined. It's got this lovely broderie angler in the same pink colour. It's got pretty ruffle sleeves, and then a lovely applique at the front there. So I mean, yeah, again, so much out of a little dress, and again it was £1. Oh no, it was £1.50. And then the lovely little buttons as well, look. So yeah, I think this, looking at where this is from, because it's got a really nice, oh, it's from Monaco, okay. It's got that little detail there, a little brass embellishment there. So there you go. I was really pleased when I got those. Right. And I have one more to do, don't I? And I've put it somewhere. Oh. Got that one and this one. And I lost my needle. Oh no, I didn't lose it. There it is. That's good. I'm just wondering what colour to use. I might use yellow for this, but in a, well, a goldy coloured yellow rather than the pale yellow, just for it to stand out. I mean, that is almost the same colour as that. So just a bit of contrast. This is the paper one, so I've got to be very careful with this one because it'll just poke holes so easily. My hands are freezing, and I could put the heater on, but I just begrudge it really. Yeah, so don't be frightened to sew paper. It's actually quite pleasant. Particularly if it's cartridge paper or something thicker, you know, caddy paper or something like that. Watercolour paper, just something thicker. A sweet little flower, but it doesn't dry very well in a nice form. It's a bit scraggy looking, but I thought it suited these sort of wildflower page, you know, wildflowers stamped on them. But I do have to be careful with this one. Just pulls it to the paper and keeps it nice and secure. The other thing I use sometimes to protect the flower is a piece of translucent fabric, or translucent usually, you know, with a little bit of that went in exactly the right place by pure chance. Right, I don't want to go higher than that because the stems are so thin. Delicate. Okay. So yeah, if you feel like it, let me know what you're up to in the comments. Tell me what you're doing. I'd love to know. When people add me, I usually look to see what whether they do videos. Most of the people that have subscribed to me haven't done any, but I would love to know what you're up to. I might use this again. No harm, and it does sort of contrast nicely. Yeah, I would love to see your work, or just, you know, hear about what you're up to, if you're a maker or whatever it is that you do. I'm going to do some embroidery as well. I might do some tonight. I'm going to start using up some of my beautiful fabrics. I'll just try and get into the in between the leaves. Right. I was thinking about generational learning, if that's a term. So I'm a gardener, and my mum was a gardener, and not a gardener by profession, don't get me wrong, we just love gardening. And my sisters were both, one of them passed away, but the other one still gardens. My brother gardens, he likes his gardening. And so we learnt all of this from our mum. Well, I certainly did. Actually, I'm not sure that my brother did, because he went off when he was 19 or something, and didn't really do anything to do with gardening before that. But when he got a family, you know, so as you do sometimes, you know, you start gardening. You enjoy your garden when you get your house. And so yeah, but I certainly did, and my mum inspired me, and my sisters, and we inspired her. And I always did the gardening for my mum when she got older. Well, not always, but you know, whenever I was there, because she lived quite a distance away from me. But I was thinking about how we pass these skills and things down the generations. So at the moment, my two grandchildren are learning about gardening with me. They have done for the last few years. Jen and I, my daughter, their mum have had allotments, so we've taken the children with us. And I have a friend who has a farm, and a small farm, sort of a small holding, and we would go there a lot and help out and have fun there. And so the children are learning alongside me and their mum. And yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it, how we can pass these skills down. So Evie and Teddy have both learned how to sew. They're learning gardening. They've been doing watercolours with me. Yeah, and I just wonder about this sort of thing about passing information down, and it's just an interesting thing. And because we move distances away from our families sometimes, those things can get lost if we're not spending a lot of time with them or around them. I just thought it was an interesting thing to think about, and I'm going to look a bit further into it, so sort of our ancestry and what was passed down. So yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. So we finished these, and as I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. Oh yeah, I was going to stitch those onto there, wasn't I? Can't make up my mind. I do think maybe if I put it there, might be better. Maybe with some fabric behind. I don't know. Can't make up my mind. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not a big. Doesn't have to be a big procrastination. And then I've got that. Could use that. I don't like the colour with that though. So yeah. Oh. No, that definitely doesn't go, but that does. So it doesn't clash or anything. So ideas on what to do. So there you go. Just a short video showing you some bits and bobs that I'm doing. And I'll be back with you again soon. Take care everybody, and bye for now.